Hi guys and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I am your host Priscilla and our theme today is people in film. Obviously you met Doc Phineas. He loves to be out and about and around and just being a celebrity that he is. But now we're switching gears to someone who is known incredibly for his voice. His voice kind of catapulted him into this amazing industry in film, and once you hear his voice you'll probably recognize him in so many times. He's not new to social media shows, but he is absolutely amazing, and I don't there's so much that we're going to pinpoint when we talk to him. So everyone, please welcome Geno Segers. Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to meet you.
No, the pleasure's mine.
Please take a seat. You're sitting in the hot seat. Amazing. I wanted to meet you for so long, so I'm so glad that I'm here with you.
No, thank you.
So amazing with your amazing voice. It's like, oh my God, like it's naturally gifted.
Yeah, I really didn't do anything to get it.
Yeah, I know, and I know everyone probably asks you about it. That's when I see you on the street. I've seen interviews with him on YouTube. People just stop him. That's the only thing they want to talk about is the voice, right? But very down to earth, very humble, very modest. So you actually never really started in film in the beginning. You were a rugby player.
I was indeed. I was indeed. Originally, I was a football player. When that sort of came to its natural end, I started. I had looked into different sports, and rugby just sort of fell in my lap. I tried out for the American Patriot Rugby League team. David New, who is the captain and the organizer of it all, really sort of appreciated me. He thought I was Polynesian, but I wasn't. And it was an interesting sort of transition. So we went to Australia to play in the Sevens tournament. I got on a team in New Zealand and played in New Zealand for a while, and then I crashed Disney audition and sort of never looked back.
Yeah, because they heard your voice and they said, hey, how about voiceovers?
Yeah, well, no, they originally I did voiceovers for a radio station in Auckland. But he convinced me to go to try to get an agent. So I did what I thought I was supposed to do, and I went out and got a modeling agent. Didn't know that there was a difference between agents, right? So one thing sort of led to another, and I sort of crashed this audition for The Lion King and kind of booked the role as Mufasa, and never looked back.
Yeah, because that's one of the big parts of your career is mostly Disney related. Not The Lion King, we'll get to that later, but you spent a lot of time on the stage performing in different countries, different areas as this amazing, well-known, infamous character. Yes. And so that's a lot of what people know you as. So what was the experience just kind of when you got the role? What was it like for someone who wasn't really an actor before and things like that?
Well, when Miguel, the first time I met Miguel, who was casting the show in New Zealand, I told him that when he said, we want to offer you the role in the ensemble, but we want you to continue auditioning for Mufasa. I was like, what does that mean? He was like, we want to offer you a contract. I was like, hey man, I need to think about this. You know, and he was like, what do you mean you need to think about it? I was like, because I really wasn't trying to audition for the show. I was just trying to prove to someone else that they didn't want bases. You know, it's a singing show, right?
Yeah.
And you think of singing, you know, all the guys sing like, sing like girls, you know? I mean, not that I don't
musical
mean,
theater is a little different.
Musical theater is very high, very tenor focused, you know. And I'm nobody's tenor, you know. And so I just figured they wouldn't want a bass, you know. They wouldn't want a basso. And when he offered me the job, I was confused. I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'm not a singer, you know. And he sent me away with the contract. And I went back to talk to my friends, and I was like, man, can you believe these people were trying to give me a contract to go to do The Lion King? And everybody I said that to told me, don't do it.
Wow.
Don't do it, man. Oh, man, forget about that, man. Stick with your business, man. Yeah. And so I say, well, now I got to do it. You know, now I got to try it at least. And I tried it the first year, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. And it gave me an opportunity to be creative, which, unbeknownst to me, I was always very creative. As a kid, even as a young adult, always trying to play music. I didn't have any formal training. I was always trying to play music. I sort of self-taught myself the piano, the guitar, the drum, saxophone. I was always into it, but I just never I never thought I could make a living doing it.
Yeah, like make it a profession, but it was kind of meant to be that way.
Absolutely.
All of these things kind of happen, and there's not a lot of people that can enter a musical theater at that level and not have had any prior training, experience, work type of things, summer stock things. You know, so it's very impressive that you just were like, okay, I'm going to do this to prove someone that, right, and then you're like, yo, so now what am I going to do with this, though? Because now I got to say yes or no, and I'm stuck.
But now, in all fairness, you know, people in New Zealand talk in a certain placement.
Okay.
You know, they talk like this, way up in the nose, you know, way up here.
But me, I speak from here.
Yeah.
And so really all I had to do is be myself, be comfortable, and just say the lines. Quiet, Simba. Sit by me.
Yeah.
You know, it was,
oh my God, that's Mufasa.
You know, it was over, and it was pretty easy. But it wasn't until I got to New York and I was auditioning for other parts where being me wasn't enough. Being Geno wasn't enough to get the job. You know, having to be an antagonist, having to be someone who was having to layer a character in a way that I was unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
So I had to go through my sort of, I had to sort of pay my dues.
Exactly.
Learning and taking class and taking bits that I understood, taking this from this person and that, what I could use and discarding the rest. And then I sort of landed in a show called Pair of Kings back in LA. And so that's really how I got to LA, and on Disney Channel, which had no connection to the stage.
The stage, there isn't.
You know, they're like, they literally could not cross over their talent because it's just...
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's two different businesses, two different organizations. And I landed back on Disney with Pair of Kings, and so been in LA ever since until I made the decision to move to Las Vegas.
I was going to say, where was it, you know, because now, which is great, because now you have all this talent here, and it's slowly showing that you're bringing kind of the film thing here, and you're not missing out on it. A lot of people say, oh my God, you have to be there. You really don't, because here we are. We're working, we're thriving, we're creating, we're building a community here, which is absolutely amazing with what we've learned, our experiences, coming from all over the place. And so you're doing all these things, but you also voice over like video games.
Yes.
Which is very big. Like, gamers are everyone. They probably would be like, oh, yeah.
I would argue that video games are bigger than movies. Because if you think about 100 million subscribers or 100 million players, I mean, that's the day the game released. So if they're paying $29.99 or $59.99 to get this game downloaded, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's bigger than
movies out of games.
I mean, they're making games out of movies and movies out of games because there's such a feverish fan base that they're going to want to go see the movie that was based on the video game. Careful, because they're very, very, very detail oriented. Yes. So when you make one mistake, you're gonna blow it.
Exactly.
You know, they don't play a lot. They don't play around with that.
Yeah, and like because video game culture, like they're very into the story,
detail,
right? Sometimes a lot of them come from books, right? And then it ends up being something. The Witcher, prime example, is something that I can see you doing. You know, they're like, oh my God, we don't want to be at the video game. I don't like that and this. But then there's the fan base that you're trying to, you know, get the approval of and things like that. So it's a very different culture. So you've done stage. you do television film, and you also do voiceover, but then also crossing that not just with animation, but with video games. Is there something that you feel is common that you need to be able to have to do all of these different things? If there's someone that wants to do all.
You know, all you got to do is have an intense desire and determination and patience. Mm-hmm. No one can take away from you your preparation, right? I mean, as long as you go in and you're prepared, okay, you can be too tall, okay, you can be, not right in the character, your complexion may be too light or too dark, or whatever that case may be. They can sort of weed you out that way, but they can never take away your preparation. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're prepared, you are giving yourself the absolute best opportunity to book the job and to get the role and to set yourself up for an amazing journey.
Yeah. So are you currently working on anything right now?
Currently, I am. I'm slated for a couple of video games on Netflix. I'm not video games, but video animations on Netflix. I can't talk about them right now because they're such.
Yeah, you gotta keep everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, they want to make a big deal out of announcing who's being cast in this season, this particular season. So I can't really mention it. There's also a movie that's coming up on Netflix that I can't really talk about.
You can't really talk about, but you can say that, hey, I'm working.
Yeah, I am working.
And you live here and you're thriving and you're still in it.
But I can say that on November the 10th, that a nativity movie musical that's going to be coming out, and it's called Road to Bethlehem. It's going to be in theaters. It's a worldwide release, and I play the role of Balthazar, one of the wise kings. So I'm really excited about that. It stars Antonio Banderas, Milo Manheim, and an amazing cast of us. We're really excited. Adam Anders is directing his world debut. I got a chance to work with him on Perfect Harmony. He was the music. Him and his brother are the music sound department behind Glee. So the music is all written by Adam and his family, and it's pretty amazing. We're all very excited. I cannot wait for this to come out. Yes, I also got to work with Rizwan Munji and Olid Jalili, who are also the other two kings. They play Gaspar and Malchior.
That's amazing.
So we're really excited about that coming out, and hopefully the premiere will be hit, home run out of the park.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to get that first. The big box office sale and get you all the way up there. I mean, that's excited. The biggest thing for any actor, big or small. To know that you're part of something so amazing and so revolutionary, bringing in new talent, showing new talents, showing what you have and what you can do apart from just being Mufasa, being in Disney, Pair of King, right? Like doing animation, and you have all these different things, versatility. I mean, that's very great. And it's great because you are someone that you can say, hey, I never actually thought that I would be here, but I made it. So, there's a lot of people who had to work starting from they're young, and there's some people that were just like, we'll see. But the great thing about you, what I want to show to the audience is the fact that you continue to stay humble throughout the whole thing. And I can tell because you didn't lead with a mindset where you're like, no, I have to be here. You just kind of went in there and you're like, I know I like creativity. I know this is me, this is what I have to offer. And you never tried to be someone else.
No.
You just went with it, and then all the good graces came onto you.
Yes. I have a Southern mother who would walk to Las Vegas and put her sore foot up my behind if I ever got what she would call the big head.
Yes.
So I appreciate my upbringing. I appreciate all of the wonderful people that have come into my life and been so grounding. I've had coaches that have come into my life that have helped me understand that life's not about the things that you bear. Life is about how you bear it. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. And how you handle what happens to you. So I give a lot of credit to my mother and my dad. My dad was very man of few words, but when he did speak, it was it was resounding.
Yeah.
You
heard him.
Yeah. He meant what he said. He meant what he said, and I'm really grateful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have some really good friends in my life that I that are part of my life to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Lifelong friendships: Anthony Chavis, Vance Locklear, Scotty Miller, my brother, my lovely wife.
It really shows because you bring that energy here, and it is just completely different. And I love meeting different guests. Every single person that sits here has something different, and they're contributing in a different way. It works for them. And that's what something I want to show the audience in the entertainment business is a stigma that you got to be a specific type. That to carry this persona to be well liked, but people don't realize that sometimes if you just know, like, this is me, this is what I bring to the table, they're gonna like it or not, but I'm not changing. This is me, and I love that. That's what I love. People like you that come here and you share that and you prove to them with your story. You don't have to say much about it. You can just show it within. You're like, I mean, hey, I love it, right? Like, the fact that you love what you do, because you really do, because you're doing it and you're going job by job, day by day, and you're just contributing what you can and showing the love for others, which is I love. Because then you got to come here, now I'm like, oh my God, he's coming here, like, he's done so many big things, and he's sitting here in the hot seat next to me. I'm like, oh my God, what do I even ask? So, like, I'm sure people ask the same questions all the time, but what you've done is amazing, and you prove that anyone can do anything that they set their mind to.
Absolutely. And I'm like I said again, I'm blessed, and to be quite honest with you, Priscilla, I'm just an amazing job. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is to me. I pinch myself every morning when I get up, and I'm excited to go and do whatever I can to facilitate a story. And it's just it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm excited to see what happens next year, this year, the rest of the year.
Journey's going to continue.
I'm really just excited to see what's next,
Yeah, and it's amazing that you live here in this city. See, someone doesn't have to live in LA to doing everything that he's doing.
And nowadays, it's so the self-tape is so prevalent. I mean, it's just every single audition since COVID has been a self-tape. Now, it was working its way into the industry, but self-tapes have become just a way of life. I haven't always been a fan of the self-tape.
Same.
I would much rather go into the room and let them experience me, three-dimensionally.
You know what I mean? So there's a reader there. You don't got to have someone help you. You got to film it. You got to get the lighting. It's a lot of work.
I'm right there. I got a whole room.
It's a lot of work.
At my house dedicated to self-tapes, but when I go into the room, I get to talk to them, ask them questions,
feel energy,
things that they didn't think about, play little tricks on them. They don't know that I'm coming in as the character. They don't know, what I mean? I might even, there's all kinds of little things you do, just sort of like take control of the room. Psychologically.
Exactly.
I don't know. I kind of miss going into the room.
Same. I mean, a lot of people are like, traveling, you got to go. But then at the same time, there's pros and cons. Each. Self-tapes are a lot of work. I mean, I also come from a theater background, so I'm used to preparing in person, like knowing how to be present, doing this, perceiving yourself in a type of way. Camera, it can come across any type of way. If you're having a bad day, the camera will see it, right?
Yeah.
You can't make what color am I wearing, right?
They can't measure your presence.
Yeah.
Because you're just on the frame like everybody else.
They're watching one after another, hundreds of videos a day.
And the number of guys that say that they're 6'1" when they're actually 5'11" is I mean, and then like you can't tell because they're in this frame. Right. So like, but if I walk in and then I tell them, hey man, I'm 6'3", and they say, man, you're not 6'3", you're like 6'4". I'm like, no man, I'm 6'3". Yeah. I'm closer to 6. I'm probably closer to 6'4", but I always say 6'3". Yeah. Because it just works better for me, Yeah. But I mean, they can feel the presence,
exactly.
And they don't know what you weigh when you walk. I mean, when you're on the camera, they think, oh, he looks a little chubby. But then I walk in, it's like,
it's
he's not
different.
chubby at all, right?
Exactly.
Everything,
I can't. You feel me? Like, camera changes a lot of things, sometimes not for the better. But I promise, I'm right about my measurements. It's just the lens today is not working in my favor. It's widening the screen.
Right.
But I'm going to close it with the question that I did ask Doc, and you were here hearing. What is your philosophy in life, if you do have one?
Wow, my philosophy really is all about just taking advantage of every opportunity. I walk around the corner. Some people will walk around the corner, see an opportunity. You can hear those people all the time. They say things like, this place is. I'm moving to. Another person will walk around that same corner, see that opportunity, pick it up and drop it. You hear their mouths all the time as well. They say things like, "Oh, she doesn't like me. Oh, he had it in. First got it. He tattletaled on me. Stop touching me." Always blaming someone else. Mm-hmm. Another person will walk around that same corner, see that same opportunity, pick it up, run with it. But you never hear anything about what they have to say.
Exactly.
They're too busy running with that opportunity. It's the people that dropped it and the people that walked past it. It's making all the noise about the person picked up and ran with it. They're saying, "Oh, he thinks he's better than us. Oh, he thinks he's this. He thinks he's all that." So really,
I just work, right?
I just picked up the opportunity and ran with it. Mm-hmm. So that's really my philosophy. I want to pick up every opportunity that comes along. And whether it's to help people, whether it's to help myself, whether it's to help.
And you're here. That's what brought you here. This is how we got to connect, and I hope that we don't not ever connect again in the future. I think now we've established a bond and loathe for self-tapes. I'm just kidding. For the lens widening. But yeah, we have that. Geno, it's been absolutely amazing. Great conversation, great energy, humble, modest. Love the art enough that you walk in and you say, "Hey, I understand I have to learn, but I understand I'm going to come with what I have to give." And I love that energy. I love that about you because I feel the same way. We're on that same wavelength with that, and you're just going where life takes you.
Likewise.
So I love that. I cannot wait to see everything that you're doing and keep in contact to make sure that we're going to talk about it and have you on again in the future. So we can talk about things you couldn't talk about here. We can talk about it in the future.
Absolutely.
When it comes out.
Yes, please.
Let's manifest it. It's coming out.
Absolutely.
You never know sometimes.
Definitely. No. It's definitely coming out.
That's great. We talked about the one that is coming out where you play one of the Wise Kings. So that's something I've posted. We can talk about the box office. It's going to be great. It's going to be, we're manifesting it. It's going to be a success.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
So everyone, Geno Segers, a.k.a. King of all Mufasas, king of everything, king of the Pair Kings. He is the king in the Pair Kings. But all of the above. So it's amazing. I'm sure you have social media, right? Where
yes.
They can contact you in order with, if they have an inquiry, an audition, I'm sure they can reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Which
it is Geno Segers on all platforms. GenoSegers.
Same. You just do the first and last name. That's easy to find. You're the one and only at that point. So amazing. Thank you so much for being here on the hot seat. Amazing person to contribute to film in the industry. Love the energy. This is someone that you should aspire to be like everybody. So when we come back, we have one more person in film to talk about, and it's going to be an amazing, amazing conversation. So make sure to not go anywhere.